गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
वर्णानाम् अर्थसङ्घानाम्
रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धस्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम् वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणम् यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रः सर्वत्र वन्द्यते सीतारामगुणग्राम पुण्यारण्यविहारिणौ वन्दे विशुद्धविज्ञान कवीश्वरकपीश्वरौ उद्भवस्थितिसंहार कारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभा यन्मायावर्षवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादर्शैव भाति सकलं रज्जौ यथा हेर्भ्रमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवां बोधे स्थितिर्षावताम् वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिम् नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तसुखाय तुलसी रघुनाथगाथा भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति। We are in Adhyatma Ramayana chapter 6, Balakand chapter 6, verse number 36. We were looking at 35, 36. What did they say? Where are we? One moment. ते गत्वा राजशार्दूलं रामश्रेयो न्यवेदयन् श्रुत्वा रामकृतं राजा हर्षेण महताप्लुतः मिथिलागमनार्थाय त्वरयामास मन्त्रिणः गच्छन्तु मिथिलां सर्वे गजाश्वरथपत्तयः. So we saw last week the marriage of Ram and Sita, the Varmala was put by Sita on around the Ram's neck, and Ramchandra did the same. But the official marriage, that was just the acceptance, the marriage that has to happen when for that they need father, they need the mother of Ram, and therefore it was told beforehand that not beforehand, in the 33rd, where are we are? The Vishwamitra immediately sent the messengers and who went to the Raja Shardulam, to the lion among kings, Dasharath. Who is this Dasharath? Dasharath is who has all the Dasharatha, who is on the chariot of the 10. And what is that 10? The 5 senses, which are 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So he is riding the 5 senses, meaning he is not a slave to the 5 senses. And therefore, even if one has conquered or has the mastery over the 5 senses, he can be a lion among kings. What to talk about one sense? We talk about control your sight or control your ear. Here he is master of all the senses. Therefore, Dasharath. And Ravan, he is called Dashanana. He is also Dash. And what is his case? He is having 7 heads, 10 heads, 10 egos. He is a slave to those 10. And therefore, he says, our Vishwamitra says, he sends the messengers to give the good news of Sri Ram and Sita to King Dasharath. Hearing about the strange and marvelous deeds done by Sri Ram, the king was submerged in extreme joy and delightedness. Remember, sage Vashishta had told King Dasharath, when he was reluctant to send his children, Sri Ram and Lakshman, along with Vishwamitra. That time, sage Vashishta had taken him to the side and told him that only good will come upon your children if you send them with Vishwamitra, because this Sri Ram and Lakshman, they are none other than the Narayana and Time himself, the Sheshnag himself, and he is going to get your daughter married. And it is such that when this news was given, he says yes. After that, he forgets, because that information is, the file is blocked from the mind of Dasharatha to express. So now it comes, and suddenly the extreme joy and excitement and delightedness took over King Dasharatha. Mithila gamanarthaya tvarayamasa mantrinaha. Then showing eager, Mithila gamanarthaya tvarayamasa mantrina. And immediately he was so eager, he was in a hurry to get to Janakpuri, Mithila Nagari. Gamanarthaya, Gama means to go, with the purpose of wanting to go to the Mithila Nagari. He, Tvarayamasa mantrina, he told his ministers, Gachantu Mithilam Sarve Gajashvaratha Pattayaha. Accompanied by elephants, horses, chariots and footmen, everyone should proceed to Mithila, Janakpuri, quick, in a hurry, without waste of time. So all this, he is telling every person in the kingdom to go to Mithila. That is the level of excitement, and the people of Mithila, people of Ayodhya, they are also like children of King Dasharath. For them, everything that the king tells them, says to them, they take it to their heart, and that's the relationship, because all the people in the kingdom loved their king because for who he was. Rathamanayame shighram gaccham yadyaiva machiram vasishthastvagrato yatu sadara sahitognibhihi Ramamatru samadaya munirme bhagavan guruhu evam prasthapya sakalam rajarshir vipulam ratham mahatya senaya sardham aruhya tvarito yayau आगतं राघवं श्रुत्वा राजा हर्षसमाकुलः प्रत्युज्जगामजनकः शतानन्दपुरोधसा यथोक्तपूजया पूज्यं पूजयामास सत्कृतम्. King Dasharatha said, Rathamanamaya Shigram, bring my chariot quickly, immediately. Gachamyadyaiva machiram. I want to begin my journey without any delay. Machiram means immediately, without any delay. And Vasishta Tvagrato Yatu Sadara Sahito Agnibihi. And let my Guru Vasishta, who is the best among sages, accompanied by his wife Arundhati, and the ritualistic holy religious fires proceed in the vanguard along with all the mothers of Sri Ram. Yeah? So they should walk in the front, they should go behind the sage Vasishta. There will be the chariot of the king. Behind the chariot of the king will be the chariot of all the mothers. And so there is some sequence, hierarchy, whatever we may say, but the king always looks good if he keeps the Guru in front. So, where are we? Rama matru samadaya munir me bhagavan guru evam prasthapya sakalam rajarshir vipulam ratham. In the 38th verse, he started saying that, and then having thus made everyone proceed ahead of him, the exalted King Dasharat mounted a huge chariot and surrounded by the army, royal entourage, and accompanied with pomp and pageantry, proceeded hurriedly towards Janakpur with great swiftness and agility. Mahatyasenaya sardham arohya tvarito yayau agatam raghavam shutva raja harsha samakulaha. And here, very quick, how many kilometers? Few hundred kilometers. Janakpur is away from Ayodhya, and hearing that the King Dasharat has arrived along with his entourage, who was this King Dasharat? Agadam Raghavam Shrutva Raja Harsha Samakulaha, who was the Tilak, meaning most prominent, exalted, famed, praiseworthy in Raghukul clan. That was his status in India in Bharatvarsh at that time. And when King Janaka heard that the King Janak, that great King Janak, great King Dasharatha, the father of Sri Ram, who has just destroyed, broken the Pinaka Dhanush of Lord Shiva given by Parshuram, has arrived. How much more powerful the king will be? That is, normally it is thought that way. Has arrived King Janaka, accompanied by his priest. The priest, the Kul Guru of Janakpuri was Shatanand. So along with Shatanand, joyfully went forward to receive him. He duly welcomed the praiseworthy and honorable King Dasharat as per established traditions and worshipped him. So Yathoktu pujaya pujyam pujayamasa satkrutam. Satkrutam, all the rituals were followed, and according to the tradition, and he did the puja of the king, the sage Vasishta, the mothers of Sri Ram, and probably the brothers have also come. Who? Bharat and Shatrughna are also there. I think so. It has not been told here, but let's see what happens afterwards. Till now, that sentence has not come that these two also have come along. If they don't mention it, means they have come. Ramastu Lakshmanenashu vavande charanau pituhu tato hrushto dasharathaha ramam vachanam abravit deshtya pashyami te rama mukham fullambujopamam muneranugraha muneeranugrahat sarvam sampannam mama shobhanam. Thereafter, Sri Ram along with Lakshmana, Ramastu Lakshmanena, what happened? They fell at the feet of Vavande Charanau Pituhu. They fell at the feet of their father, King Dasharath, and did the Sashtang Namaskar. Tato Rishto Dasharatho Ramam Vachanam Abravit. And the king, the father, having seen his two sons after such a long time, was exhilarated and very happy. And then he said, Ramam Vachanam Abravit. And O Ram, he says, O Ram, it is, what did he say? Dishtya pashyami te Ramam mukham fullam bujopamam. He is besotted with Sri Ram. For him, Sri Ram is his whole soul. Sri Ram is his heart. Sri Ram is his life. And he doesn't waste any time. And now he is second time, because first time he missed Sri Ram was when he went to the school with the sage Vashishta. But it was on the outskirts of the kingdom of Ayodhya, but within Ayodhya Nagari. But here he has gone so far away, and now he has heard that his Ram has killed Tadka and Khar and Dush, what is that? Subahu and what is the other fellow's name? Marich. And so he is even more proud to be the father of these two sons. And imagine how you feel when your children have passed year 12 without any contribution from you. Why? You passed only year 10, 12. They have passed. Now, how you feel after they have passed their university? Then how you feel when they get their job? How you feel when they buy their first property? How you feel when they are well behaved, etc. All the good qualities that are there, that they are able to stand on their... It's a sense of pride that we have brought them up nicely. Same thing, Dasharatha, who is even more besotted or in love with his son Sri Ram, he says, O Ram, Ramam Vachanam Abravit. He spoke to Ram. What did he say? O Ram, it is very fortunate today that I am seeing your face, which resembles a fully blooming lotus flower. Normally a lover speaks like that to his girlfriend. Your father is speaking to his son. See, language is same. You can use it, copy paste anywhere, but it has to come from the heart. So the father is so happy that he is speaking in this manner. And Murer anugrahat sarvam sampannam mama shobhanam. By the grace and kindness of the honorable sage Vishwamitra, I have been blessed with welfares and fortunes in every respect. Now he realizes the true purpose why Vishwamitra has taken Sri Ram and Lakshmana away. Not only the great prowess, the great courage, the great feat that Ram and Lakshman exhibited in protecting the yajna of sage Vishwamitra. Not only Ramchandraji's grace gave liberation to Ahalya, but now, because of Vishwamitra's far-sightedness, because of his grace, Ramchandraji was at the right place, at the right time, in the right environment, and was able to do another great feat, which is even greater than all the ones before. Each one has its own significance. First was, he conquered desire, he conquered kamana, lust, in the name of Tadaka. Then he killed Subahu. Killing Subahu, the strong-armed one, he shows that he is stronger than any person as strong as Subahu. Then he shoots, and why he is able to kill the strong arm? Because he doesn't allow the veil of ignorance. He doesn't allow imagination, which expresses as self-doubt, which expresses as in many other facets it expresses. He doesn't allow his mind to be carried away. Then only one thing. What was the only one thing his mind stuck to? The instruction of his guru, that you have to protect this yajna and you have to kill anyone who comes in the way. And he throws away Marich. Marich is the imagination, fanciful imaginations. Marichika is just like the what are these? कौन से waters यार? Mirage waters. Like mirage waters is called Marichika. Similarly, his name is Marich. So it's a phenomena. He pushes it away from his mind. And he has killed Subahu. He has got the capacity. See the third one. His grace, that by his touch of his dust, a stone was brought back to life. After all this is that he can infuse. This is important, what is coming to me now. He could infuse or invoke life out of a jada vastu. Ahalya was a stone, and merely by touch he could make that stone into a living person again. Only when when we apply it on ourselves, overcome lust, overcome imagination. Third, overcome invocation of Atma Bala, which takes care of any strong person or imagination or whatever. Third, then overcoming Jadatva, meaning Jadatva is the Ahalya, but who can invoke life out of Jada, or who can infuse life into Jada? The one who is beyond Jada and Chaitanya. Who is beyond Jada and Chaitanya. And all this has been possible. Jada Chaitanya means the one who is beyond consciousness and matter. And all this is possible only because before Vishwamitra took Ramchandra ji away along with Lakshmana, Ramchandra ji has been exposed to Yoga Vashishta. Remember we told you in the beginning? He has been exposed to Yoga Vashishta. There he came to his true self. Now this is the expression of the true self as life is unfolding in his life. That knowledge is not to be kept in the mind. That knowledge is not to be kept in the books. That knowledge that I am the infinite, Aham Brahmasmi, that I am all that there is, that has to express in our thought, word and deed. And that is what is expressing here. Again, how it is expressing? By the grace of the Guru. Why it is expressing? Because Sri Ram and Lakshman, they have got no doubts as to whom they should follow. When they were with father, Lakshmana is different. He follows Ram. But what does Ram do? When he was with father, he was following the father. Father said, now father, mother, guru, everyone is sage Vishwamitra, you follow his word. To the T, Sri Ram is following. And how do we live in our life? We don't follow anyone's. We follow our diktat, our ego. We are scared to say that this is my guru, or I feel that this person or this teacher or this God I will follow. That also we don't want to do. Why? Scared. We don't want to be stuck. We are modern. We learn from everyone and practice nothing. We learn from everyone, but we practice nothing. You may learn from everyone, but it must unfold in our life. That unfoldment is lack of doubt, removal of ignorance, the incomplete knowledge with regards to me, the self, the body, and the world. This must collapse, must recognize this all is one. This is the growth, this is the unfoldment. Ramchandraji was able to manage, was able to come to that point. Therefore, I am using these words, he could infuse life into the stone, or by his mere touch, the stone became alive. And that shows that Ramchandraji, I'm reading going deep into that incident, applying it subjectively, spiritually, that Ramchandraji is that principle who is beyond consciousness and matter. Jada Chaitanya, beyond Jada Chaitanya. And therefore, he was able to break the Pinaka Dhanush. Pinaka Dhanush is of the Lord Shiva. Pinaka Dhanush is, if you want to take it grossly, Pinaka Dhanush is the spinal cord. He broke it, meaning all chakra bhedan ho gaya. Another way of taking it is, when we go through the various chakras, this part, the Chandra, Om के ऊपर Chandra और फिर बिंदु आता है ना, that Chandra is the Dhanush. He breaks that and goes beyond Virat Purush, goes beyond. This was Ardhanarishwar, where consciousness and spirit, third eye is the place where consciousness and spirit are dancing. He went beyond it, therefore he was able to bless Ahalya by his touch. Next is the Chandra, Bindu. Chandra Bindu Nada. Nada Bindu Kalatita. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bindu Nada Kalatita. So this, I'm just thinking loudly here. See? You could call it total mind, you could call it space. From the string, without the string, the arrow cannot be shot. Arjuna, when he used to just Dhanush ki tankar, when he used to pull the string of his Dhanush, with the sound itself, the enemy used to be afraid. Here Ramchandraji didn't just make sound, he broke the whole Dhanush only. So that Dhanush represents what? Waking, dream, deep sleep. You could take it that way. So he went beyond. Here what is, where are we now? Then he was able to, after having gone beyond the three, waking, dream, deep sleep, he was able to come to the Avyakta. Avyakta means the unmanifest. Unmanifest, another word for it is Shakti. That Shakti is Sita. Sita was not going to marry anyone who is Tom, Dick and Harry. Aaya gaya kisi tarah na. He had to string the bow. This fellow has come and not only in that action of stringing, he has broken the bow. Only to such a person, the Shakti is available in. Now he is the master of Shakti. Now he is the master of Shakti. See? And who is making all this happen? Shakti is making all this happen through Ram, who is the non-doing principle. He is the transcendental one. Remember Ram Hridaya? It was given there, that we went in full detail. So keep thinking, keep this whole journey of Ram and coming to meet Sita. Ram is the Purusha principle, Sita is the Prakriti principle. For that Purusha to meet Prakriti, these were the various stages, right from the childhood, going to school, then going around the kingdom, then losing the plot, then guidance from sage Vishwamitra as Yoga Vashishta. So just realization within yourself is not enough. Next stage is what? That realization that I am all that there is, Aham Brahmasmi. This must express in your every action. Then who is the best teacher now? The best teacher is Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, the friend of the whole world. That friend of the whole world is slowly unfolding. Just by following that teacher, who is the friend of the whole world, Ramchandraji is unfolding. Just following him. His intention, he's not thinking, I have to expand to include the whole world. I have to expand, do this, I have to. No. He's just following his teacher. Our problem is we want to follow ourselves. We want to follow by our reading. We want to follow because our doing, because we are on an ego trip. We don't want to surrender. We are afraid. We are doubtful. But Ramchandraji, Saral Swabhav, Nishkapat, simple-minded, no contortions within his mind. Following the teacher, who? Vishwamitra. And what is this Vishwa? What is this Vishwa? This Vishwa is nothing but the manifestation of that Avyakta Shakti. But to get to the Avyakta Shakti, that Maya Shakti, who is none other than Sita, this journey is there. How wonderful. So, King Dasharatha is feeling very blessed that by the grace and kindness of the Honorable Sage Vishwamitra, I have been blessed with welfares and the fortunes in every aspect. He is thinking of fortune and blessings. On other hand, Vishwamitra has made Ram available to the whole world. He has shown his secret that he is the greatest warrior. He is the greatest person living on earth at that moment. 5,000 horses and elephants needed to pull that bow on a chariot. Ramchandraji merely by his left hand was able to lift it. The only other person who could lift that bow, Pinaka bow, was Sita. Playfully she used to pick it up. And those two great who complete each other, they came together. Ityuktvaghraaya murdhanam alingya cha punah punah harshena mahatavishto brahmanandam gato yatha ततो जनकराजेन मंदिरे सन्निवेशतः शोभने सर्वभोगाढ्ये सदा रससुतः सुखी Ityukta. So, saying this, Dasharatha picked up Sri Ram, who had fallen at his feet and then smelt his murdhani, this point where the hair meet the forehead, and alingyacha puna puna, and hugged him again and again, embraced him, hugged him, and held him close to his heart, and smelt his head as a gesture of affection and love, and was subsequently drowned, submerged in extreme bliss due to the exhilaration and happiness provided by the occasion. Harshena mahata vishto brahmanandam gato yatha. We say brahmanandam paramasukhatam kevalam jnanamurtim. Brahmanandam paramasukhatam. What is that Brahmanandam? For us, Brahmanandam is in meditation, realizing Aham Brahmasmi. For Dasharath Raja, Brahmanandam is having in his embrace that Parabrahma Paramatma who is appearing there as Ram, as his son, in his embrace. How wonderful if you had Ram in front of you right now, or Sita in front of you right now, and you could embrace. But there is Ram and Sita in everyone. We don't have the eyes because we doubt, because we are slaves of our senses, because we are slaves of our mind, and therefore we keep doubting, because we assess the world based on the finite. See, we have to move on, move ahead, go subtler, deeper. Tato janakarajena mandire sanniveshatah shobhane sarvabhogadhye sadara sasuta sukhi. After that, King Janaka gave him, along with all other queens and princes, a befitting residence in a very beautiful and comfortable palace, provided with all the materials and paraphernalia of worldly comfort. That which is suitable to a king, to an emperor, that was given to him. Now, next, 45th verse to 48th verse. Tata shubhe dina lagne sumuhurte raghuttamam anayamasa dharmajnyo ramam sabhratrukam tada ratnastambhas suvistare suvitane sutorane mandape sarvashobhadhye mokta pushpafalanvite vedavidbhi susamabadhe ब्राह्मणे स्वर्णभूषितैः सुवासिनिभिः परितः निष्ककण्ठीभिरावृते भेरीदुन्दुभिः निर्घोषैः गीतनृत्यैः समाकुले दिव्यरत्नाञ्चिते स्वर्ण पीठे रामं न्यवेशयत्. Then tatah, thereafter, that moment arrived, that day arrived, that time arrived. Shubhe dine lagne sumurte. Shubhe dine, shubhe lagne, shubhe divase. We do when we do puja on the auspicious day, on the auspicious time, at the auspicious muhurta, with the auspicious nakshatras, with the auspicious lagna, etc., etc. When we don't know what are those, we just say shubha, 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 shubha. Easy way out. Why? Why we say Shubha, Shubha, Shubha? Because God knows that it is every moment is Shubha. Why we have to say anything? We are all auspicious and most favorable for the occasion. The most righteous King Janaka, who himself is a realized person, called Sri Ram along with his other brothers. Anayamasa dharmajnyo Rama sabhratrukam tada, along with his brothers. Ratnastamba suvistare suvitane sutorane. Then in a large pavilion, Ratna stamba pillared, Ratna studded with jewels, Suvistare with a huge what you call pavilion, Suvitane Sutorane, which was endowed with all possible magnificence and majesty, pomp and pageantry, had the studded pillars, beautiful canopy, attractive and charming bundings, festoons, arches and gates, which was decorated with fruits and flowers made of pearls, and which was jam-packed with gold-bedecked Brahmins, and was full of chaste women attired in beautiful attires. Sri Ram was made to sit on a divinely radiant, gem-studded throne by King Janak. At that moment, there was a tumultuous clamor and din created by various musical instruments such as trumpet and kettle drums, as well as by various dances and felicitous songs and praises being sung. Wherever there is union, whether in meditation you are coming into union with your essential self, or you are coming into union with food, your mouth is coming in union with food, all the sounds coming, grunting coming, all the satisfaction, burping coming. When two cymbals come together, beautiful music coming out, two arms coming together, two palms coming together, clap is the sound which comes out. Here we are talking about Purusha and Prakriti represented, or here at that moment appearing as Sri Ram and Sita. When they are coming about, naturally all the gods will be happy, the Devas, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, all of them, the divine damsels, Apsaras, all of them, there is dance and joy and music, and everything is a person who is had a good sleep and he wakes up in the morning, he sees the whole world very fresh. Same person was feeling the whole world very heavy before he went to sleep. But when he wakes up, whole world is very fresh. See, is there a way for you and me that every moment of our existence, the world is fresh, the Prakriti is fresh, because Prakriti is always fresh, ever changing. There's nothing old in Prakriti. So where is this oldness? This oldness is in the ego, in memories, old memories. Ramchandraji is living in the moment. Understand this. When we take every moment as it is, follow the Guru within. If you are not able to access, follow the Lord within, or follow the Guru without. But live a disciplined life, live a self-oriented life or God-oriented life. Not only Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Mala घुमाते नहीं. उसका the connotation of who God is, connotation of who Ishvara is. Ishvara is he who is not disturbed by his Prakriti. Jiva is he who is enslaved by the Prakriti. And our goal when we are doing our sadhana, when we are studying the scriptures, when we are taking the classes, when we are listening to satsangs, when we are moving throughout the day, doing the chores that we have to do, work we have to do, continuously remain aware that you are the one who is the master of the Prakriti. Meaning, at this level, at the body level, I am the master of my mind. Then doubts, confusions will not be there. The whole world is nothing but that divine. Then treat it so. In mind we think that the world is divine, but in our actions, तेरी तो ऐसम की तैसी. We see that as separate. We don't see the world. In mind, we want to, like many people nowadays, they don't want to talk to each other. They will send SMSs in the same home. See, we are like that. In the mind, we are sending SMSs. What? Everything is divine. Listen to satsang is an SMS. Reading book is an SMS. It's mental. Inside it's, you are understanding. But it is not translating into action, into speech, in the outside world. Then it is complete. Merely knowing and living contrary to that knowing, that is hypocrisy, that is disaster, not even hypocrisy. It's disaster. So where am I going wrong? Assess, assess, assess. Assess yourself. Nobody can assess you. You have to assess yourself. That where am I falling short? If God is right here and now at any given moment, why am I not realizing? Why am I not being one with Him? What is stopping me from being the master of my senses or mind? And as these things sort out, as the distance between Ram and Sita becomes less and less and less, as the distance between the mind and the conscious self becomes less and less and less. How is it becoming less and less? As objectivity in the mind is becoming less and less. As the ego in our mind, my ego is it doesn't exist. It's a ghost. But it is surviving on what? Memories. So that burden of memories, which we want to repeat every day. My child, my daughter, my son, my body, my age, my birthday. My diabetes, my whatever disease is going on, blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. Everything, my. Where is it coming from? Memory. So, when our interaction with the divine is so acute and complete and surrender, that all this memory, all this, it starts dissolving, because memories, mana buddhi chitta ahankar, they can survive only when you give attention to them, when you give value and importance to them. So you are not available. You have replaced all data with the Lord's name. You have replaced all data with self-contemplation, equanimous attitude, self-awareness, with different words meaning the same. Or surrender to Guru, same thing. Surrender to God, same thing. No free will in that sense. My Guru's will, my Lord's will. Live like Papa Ramdas. Living at the mercy of Lord Sri Ram. Not even asking for bhiksha. See? फिर जाके कहीं ढोल नगाड़े बजेंगे, अभी जो बज रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So as the memories dissolve, to that extent, the mind and the self is pure consciousness, mind is conditioned consciousness. But mind is nothing but consciousness. And as the conditioning, which is thoughts, is reducing from the mind is coming back to its original state. See? And as that comes, that is when, even in meditation, all these moments which are happening here in the outside, what is that? The Sri Ram was made to sit on a divinely radiant gem-studded throne by King Janaka. At that time, that moment, there was a tumultuous clamor of din and din created by various musical instruments such as trumpet, kettle drum, conches, and as well as by various dances and songs and praises being sung. Of whom? Of Sri Ram. Who is singing? Now, what has been invoked from the mind? The Jadatva is gone and the Daivatva. Who is this? What is this Daivatva? Daivatva is all the gods, sun, moon, the Devas, Gandharvas. Where is all this? Where are the beings of all the lokas? They are in the mind only. But for that, mind must become pure. And as it becomes purer and purer and purer, a moment comes when the mind is face to face with the Purusha principle, when the Shakti is face to face with the Purusha principle, when the mind is face to face with the Atma principle, Atmic principle, just like you are face to face yourself in front of a clear mirror. Even if you go there and stand angrily, very quickly you will start laughing, smiling, because you will see the foolishness of it, that you don't like how you look at yourself. At that moment, all this happens. Vasishtham kaushikam chaiva shatananda purohitah yathakramam pujayitva ramasyo bhayaparshvayoh sthapayitva satatragnim jwalayitva yatha vidhi सीतामानीय शोभाढ्याम नानारत्न विभूषिताम सभार्यो जनकः प्रायाद रामं राजीवलोचनम पादौ प्रक्षाल्य विधिवत् तदपो मूर्ध्न्यधारयत. वसिष्ठम कौशिकम च एव शतानंद पुरोहिता. Who are the Purohits? Sage Vashishta, Sage Vishwamitra, Sage Shatananda. The high priest Shatanand worshipped Sage Vashishta and Vishwamitra one by one and seated them on their side, on either side of Sri Rama. Look at it. On one side it is his guru, Sage Vashishta, and the other side is that guru who is making. So what did Sage Vashishta do? He made him realize the self. What did Vishwamitra do? Made him see that the whole world is the self. Aha, kya majedar hai thought. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful. Sage Vashishta made him come to know himself, and Sage Vishwamitra made him come to realize that the whole world is nothing but him. For that, the requirement was Ramchandra ji follows the diktat of Sage Vishwamitra. The Guru always knows you better than yourself. He knows the potential within you. Ram was having doubt. Should I kill Tadaka? Ram was having doubt. Should I put my foot on the Ahalya? But when the Guru Maharaj says, just follow. And his khyati, his name and fame spread all over the world. He seated them yatha kramam pujeta ramasyo ubhaya parshvayoho. So he positioned them both one to the one on each side of Sri Ram. Sthapayitva satatragnim jwalayitva yatha vidhi Sita maniya shobhadhyam nana ratna vibhushitam. The holy fire was ceremoniously lit according to the established traditions, and bringing along Sita, who was decorated with different varieties of jewels, as well as the queens. King Janaka approached the lotus-eyed Sri Ram, washed his feet as per sanctioned procedure, and put the washed water on his own head. दामाद का रिस्पेक्ट देना पड़ता है. He knows his daughter is extraordinary. Janak Maharaj himself, a realized sage, Raj Rishi, having a daughter Sita, who knows who she is, meaning she is unfolded herself in her own way. What will be his vision when he sees? What will be his joy? What will be his reverence and respect for Sri Ram? सब कुछ न्यौछावर कर देंगे. So according to the tradition, I think that is the tradition. You guys are married, you know. Your father-in-laws must have washed your feet. And put the water on his own head as Ashirvad. Ya dhruta murdnira sharvena brahmana munibhi sada tata sitam kare dhrutva sakshatodaka purvakam. Now here one part before, and that was Sita was bedecked with jewels. Our Prakriti is bedecked. What are the jewels of the Prakriti? The stars, the galaxies, they are all jewels, shining stones. The mountains, the rivers, various necklaces in the form of rivers, various mountains in the form of crown. See, every name and form of Prakriti, manifest Prakriti, is an ornament that is adorning her. Just as every wall, whether it is straight, whether it is angular, whether it is a squeaky door, whether it is glass door, whether it has windows or no windows, everything is adorning your home, isn't it? Similarly, the entire Prakriti is adorned by all the aspects of the Prakriti, gross, subtle or causal. And that is that the Prakriti, Sita ji, has come with all the bedecked with jewels and ornaments. Then this water used to wash Sri Ram's feet is so holy that it is always kept on the head as a gesture of deep reverence, honor and respect, even by Shiva, Brahma and other sages and seers. And by us also, whenever our Hanumanji does the puja and he gives us with that kusha grass, he sprinkles the water over our head. Which is that water? That is sanctified water. After all the puja is done, whatever water is there, after the abhishek and everything, that abhimantrit jal, that is sprinkled on everyone as an ashirvad. Thereafter, Ramaya pradadau pritya pani graha vegadhanataha. Thereafter, he held the hand of Sita, performed the holy ritual of offering her formally in marriage to Sri Ram, and handed her over most affectionately, brimming over with joy and happiness to him. So, who held the hand of Sita? King Janaka held the hand of Sita and placed it in the hand of Sri Ram. And there is no pain. There he is joyfully, genuinely, joyfully, he is happy to hand over Sita to Sri Ram. When we go to the temple, we want to give dakshina, there also we calculate. If we want our child to get married, घर जमाई होना चाहिए, फिर ठीक है. He'll remain in our control. क्या करोगे if he remains in your control? सरदर्दी बढ़ेगी. ले जा भाई, खुश रहे. King Janaka, he offered the hand of Sita with joy and happiness. He saw the bhava was the union of Purusha and Prakriti. Ishwar and Prakriti are coming together. He is a realized sage. That is why in our culture, all this paddhati that is given, it is the invocation of the divinity in our vision. Whether our son-in-law and our daughter, whatever, we must feel that it is the union of Purusha and Prakriti. We must feel that it is the union of Ishwar and Prakriti. We only approach with doubt and suspicion. अभी किसी की शादी हुई and someone was telling me they spent $250,000 on the marriage in Sydney. $250,000. They have a son and a daughter. Daughter is getting married. But it pinched somewhere. So that statement came out of the mouth. See? Either you do it with full abandon, full joy, ready to face the consequences. I'm not judging that person. I'm just mentioning, trying to communicate a point. Arey baap re, this king has come, his 4 sons have come, his 3 wives have come. Dashrath ji had another 350, remember? They all have come. Why they had to bring so much? I just needed Ramchandra ji and his parents. Why everyone? So many people I'll have to accommodate. How much money will go? This, blah, 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 blah. But he has the capacity. King Janak has the capacity. He is the king. This person also has the capacity. He did. But somewhere attachment to money is there. Somewhere that I have gone beyond my budget is there. Somewhere the feeling is, yeah, this is a very expensive wedding. Why don't they just get a registered marriage and be free? Majority of the marriages out there, they don't last too long. But you have spent $250,000 on the marriage. Yes, someone was telling me today, in Haridwar, one person put a case in the court yesterday. He says, my son wanted a special wedding. क्या नाम है मेरे को पता नहीं, वो वेडिंग का क्या होता है, तुम लोगों को पता है. He made me spend so much. He wanted to get married to this girl only. He wanted all these jewels as in Dahej, and both of them wanted it like this. They both, the girl's parents and the boy's parents, they had to spend lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of rupees to do all this. Destination wedding सब कुछ. तो और शादी के बाद, now 1 year is over, they are not having children. So we asked, why you are not having children? We want to play with grandchildren. No, we don't want grandchildren. We don't want our own children. We are happy with each other. So both the parents, they went to the court and they put a case that he made us spend so much. He did. Now he's not even giving us a grandchild so that we can be busy and play with him. He is denying us our right as a grandfather and grandmother. Case kar diya. He has to return. We have spent how many? So many crores. He has to return every pie because it was his marriage. We listen to him. He's not listening to us. We want a grandchild. Why he's not giving? Ajib, if you move around, then so many these type of news you come across. But this is not the situation of our Janak Maharaj. Diyate me suta tubhyam prito bhava raghuttama iti pritena manasa Sitam Rama Karerpayan Mumod Janako Lakshmim Kshirabdhiriva Vishnave Urmilam Chaurasim Kanyam Lakshmanaya Dadau Muda. Then King Janaka said, "Oh, the best one in the clan of Raghu, I am offering or giving charge of handing over gold and pearl bedecked lotus-eyed daughter of mine named Sita to you. Be happy and joyful, and accept her gladly in this way, having offered Sita in the lotus-like hands of Sri Ram with an exhilarated mind and heart, not a crying mind, not a crying heart. अब मेरा क्या होगा? अब मेरे को कौन देखेगा? मेरी तो सिर्फ लड़कियां थी, अब मेरे पास तो कोई लड़का भी नहीं है." Dasharatha cried. He had one daughter. He got her married to Rishyashringa Muni, Shanta. So he cried, "Whom will I give this kingdom to? I don't feel complete. We must have a son, blah, 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 blah." King Janaka realized master, completely content at any given moment, not living with any desire, yet running the kingdom. With an exhilarated mind and heart. Mumoda Janako Lakshming Shirabdireva Vishnave. Mumoda, exhilarated, happy mind, happy disposition. Ro ke nahi, like the examples I gave you just now. उसके भी पहले Iti Pritena Manasa Sitam Rama Karer Payan. He put the hand of Sita in Ramchandraji's hand, Pritena Manasa, with a happy mind. Then in the 55th verse, Janaka was overwhelmed with bliss and ecstasy. Mumoda is exhilaration, bliss, ecstasy. Janako, as the ocean of milk, had been after having offered Lakshmi in the lotus-like hands of Sri Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, at the time of the legendary churning of the ocean. Thereafter, he married off his daughter Urmila, who was born out of his wedlock, that is, from his wife to Lakshman. So, first, Janak Maharaj had no children. He was not having any children. Then he found Sita, and there was a great drought in his kingdom, and some priests, they all came together, all the rishis and Shatanand Muni. He went and told, I think if you take a golden, what do you call, हल को क्या बोलते हैं यार? You know, what is that weapon which our plow. So if you take a golden plow and plow the dry land of your kingdom, that will on this particular day at this particular time, and all those things what the panditjis do, the rishis told him, and then the blessings will come. And he did that, and as he was doing it, suddenly the front part of the plow, it hit something metal. Immediately the soldiers went, and the king had to do it himself without any help. So he was pulling the plow. No bullocks. You have to take the length of the cow on your shoulder and pull it and dig into the ground. It's hard work, but he did it because he loved his kingdom, all the people in the world, in the kingdom, and he was having empathy for all the suffering that this drought was causing. So he did it. But in that moment, when the plow hit the metal box, it was opened, and there a small child was there, smiling away. And that child was Sita. And immediately he takes it as a blessing. It is the Prakriti who has given. If you find a person, if you find a child somewhere outside your door, what would you do? पता नहीं किसका है. जाके ऑर्फनेज में दे दो, या कॉल द पुलिस, डू दिस, डू दैट. But he took it as a positive. He said, Prakriti, Mother Earth is giving it to me. And he took it, and his wife, Sunayana, she loved her to bits. And then they had their own daughter, whose name was Urmila, who doted on her elder sister because they never had any bhed bhav towards Sita. And Urmila was married to Lakshmanaji. So just as when the churning of the ocean was there also out of the ocean, Lakshmi came out. All the jewels were coming out of the churning of oceans. And that time Lakshmi also came out. The Asuras wanted it, the gods wanted it, and eventually she went to Lord Narayana himself. Because Asuras cannot handle Lakshmi, they are lusty after it. Devas, they cannot preserve it. Only Lakshmi can. So in this manner, so here it is written, Sita was not born from his wife Sunayana. As per the legend, she was found in a pitcher while Janak was ploughing the field as per his certain vows and austerities. I told you the story about it. Some people even say that Sita ji was the daughter of Ravana. Some places it comes. And he wanted a son, he didn't want a daughter. So, like, this problem is rampant in some communities, that they don't want the daughter. He was also like that. He threw her away. Or whatever the story is. I can't remember the story. I'll have to find out what that story is. And thus she was found here. तथैव श्रुतिकीर्तिं च माण्डवी भ्रातृकन्यके भरताय ददावेकां शत्रुघ्ना Shatrugnaya param dadau Chatvarodara sampannā Bhratara shubhalakshanaha Vireju prabhaya sarve Lokapala iva pare. At the same time, he gave the daughters of his brother. And the King Janaka's brother, he also had two daughters, Mandavi and Shrutakirti. And he gave Mandavi to Bharat, and Shrutakirti was married off to Shatrughna. So, which means when King Janaka came, even though these names were not given, it was just told the whole retinue and the wives, but Bharat and Shatrughna also have come. And these two, एक ही बारी में सबका कल्याण हो गया. पहले तो सिर्फ राम लक्ष्मण मिले थे. Now he has seen Bharat and Shatrughna. अरे 4 brothers, eligible bachelors, and 4 daughters, eligible brides. चलो, all responsibility over in one go. So were given respectively, and Chatvarodara sampanna bhratara shubhalakshanaha vireju pravaya sarve lokapala iva pare. As a result, all the 4 brothers who were endowed with all good characters and virtues looked magnificent and glowed with their own radiance like duplicate or parallel Lokpalas, custodians of the 4 directions of the world. So, just some words are being told that their glory, their power, their effulgence, their radiance, all that is being brought out through these various words. Tato abravid vasishthaya vishwametraya maithilaha janaka swasuto dantam naradena yagnya bhumi vishuddhyartham karshato langalena me sita mukhat samutpanna kanyaka shubhalakshana तामद्राक्षमहं प्रीत्या पुत्रिका भावभाविताम् अर्पिता प्रियभार्यायै Sharachandra. After that, the Lord of Mithila, that is the King Janak, told sages Vasishta and Vishwamitra all that was disclosed to him previously about his daughter Sita by sage Narada. Oh, now the story of Sita is coming. Oh, very good. So we will see it in detail. He said once, पढ़ने लायक होगा ये 59th verse. He says, यज्ञ भूमि विशुद्ध्यर्थम कर्षतो लांगले न मे सीता मुखात समुत्पन्ना कन्यका शुभ लक्षणा. He said, once I was plowing the field to purify it or sanctify it by doing penances for the purpose of performing a fire sacrifice. That fire sacrifice was because there was a drought that I told you before. At that time, so Sita means that which is, because the plow, the pointed bit which goes into the ground, that is called a Sita, and therefore Sita, if I am correct. And at that time, this auspicious and virtuous girl was produced or emerged from the front part of my plow, that pointed thing which goes and digs into the earth. Hence, she was named Sita, literally meaning the front tip of the plow. How beautiful. Sita mukhat samutpanna kanyaka shubha lakshana tamadrakshamaham pritya putrika bhava bhavitam. When I saw her, a natural daughter-like affection rose in my heart for her, and so I brought and handed over that moon-faced infant girl to my wife Sunayana. Sunayana, auspicious vision. Do we have auspicious vision? Only auspicious vision, person with auspicious vision, that requires a prerequisite of an auspicious mind. To have auspicious mind, so What is the cause of vision? The mind. And what is the nature of auspiciousness? The self itself. So Sunayana, again, if you take the break into the go into the meaning of the word, Sunayana also is established in the self. She has a blessed mind, she has a blessed vision. And what is that vision? That vision is that which considers the whole world to be a blessing, the whole world to be auspicious. Only to such a mother can Sita come. Only to Mother Devaki Krishna Bhagavan could come. He could not be born to anyone else. So I handed over my infant girl to my wife Sunayana. Ekada naradobhyagad vivikte mahi sanstite ranayan mahatim veenam gayan narayanam vibhum pujita sukhamasino mamuvacha sukhanvitaha shrunushva vachanam guhyam tavabhyudaya karanam. Once Narado Abhyagad Vivikte Mai Sanstite. Once I was sitting alone. Sage Narada came to me playing his Indian flute called Mahati. Ranayan Mahatim Veenam. Veenam is the sitar-like instrument with two round bits on the end. Here it is written lute, not flute, called Mahati, and singing the glories of Gayan Narayanam Vibhum, and singing the glories of the all-pervasive Lord Narayana. Vibhum means all-pervasive. Pujita Sukhamasino Mamuvacha Sukhanvitaha. And after I had finished Pujita, after I have done all the puja, archa, etc. of welcoming and worshipping the sage, Mamuvacha Sukhanvita, sitting down comfortably, he spoke to me. What did he say? He sat down comfortably and said cheerfully, what? Shunushva vachanam guhyam. I'm going to tell you something secret. What is that? Tava abhyudaya karanam. Listen to it. And whatever I am going to tell this secret to you, it is for your auspiciousness, it is for your welfare. When someone says, come and I'll tell you something important, then we become alert, when we become suddenly attentive. And otherwise, every time Narada comes, it's okay. But Narada is a bringer of auspiciousness. Narada, wherever Naradji goes, he only he installs the love for the Lord in the hearts of the devotees. Paramatma Rishikesho Bhaktanugraha Kamyaya Deva Karyartha Siddhyartham Ravanasya Vadhaya Cha Jato Rama iti Khyato Maya Manusha Veshadhruk Aste Dasharathir Muhutva Chaturdha Parameshwaraha. What is that secret that he told me, the secret clue which was going to bring me welfare and auspiciousness? He said, Paramatma Rishikesho Bhaktanugraha Kamyaya. Lord Vishnu, that Rishikesh, has incarnated and come in the form of and has become famous in an illusory human form by the name of Ram. Paramatma Rishikesho Bhaktanugraha Kamyaya, to bestow auspiciousness and satisfy the desires of his devotees, and to Deva Karyartha Siddhyartham, and he has also come to fulfill the fulfill the gods, and Ravanasya Vadhayacha, and also to kill the Ravana. And Jato Rama iti Khyato, and he goes by the name of Ram, and his name and fame is Khyati. He is famous by the name of Ram. Maya Manusha Veshadrik, and he is Maya Manusha, and by the power of Maya, that Narayana, that Rishikesha, that Paramatma, he has taken the human form. He has taken a human form. Aste dasharathir bhutva chaturdha parameshwara. And that Supreme Lord, that Paramatma, has manifested himself in four forms as the sons of Dasharatha and presently resides in the city of Ayodhya. Now, King Janaka is telling to King Dasharatha in front of Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna, in front of his four daughters, who are they? Sita, Urmila, Shrutakirti, the youngest one, and Mandavi of Bharat. In front of all of them, all the mothers of Ram, Lakshman, etc. are there. All the courtiers are there. In front of them, Ram came to King Dasharatha was told by Vashishta. But one gets lost in the attachment of their child, my child, my child. Here, King Janaka is again reminding Dasharatha and everyone that he is not an ordinary being. He has come here with a purpose. The consciousness that is expressing through these five senses, the consciousness that is expressing through this mind, the consciousness which is with reference to Avyakta, it is not here for indulging in the mind. It is not here for indulging in the desires. It is not here for indulging in the senses. It is not here to indulge through the intellect, mind and senses into the world. Oh, my child, my this, my clothes, my house, my food, my this. No. That consciousness always has a higher purpose. And only a guru can invoke that higher purpose out of you. One must be available though. One must be available. We go to astrologers. I was staying with someone's house, a few days ago. And they said, Swamiji, do you believe in astrologers? I said, yes. Why not? Why not? No. Oh, I want to know what is happening in my life. So I said, oh, what is happening in your life? Oh, our Guruji told us, some name they gave me. They told us that when we asked him that we want to go to, how they made the Guru. Someone was disciple of some Kriya Yogi Guru. So he told them about it and they said, okay, we will also make him our Guru. So they also made him as Guru, their Guru. Then after that, they asked him, this is the problem, asking. They asked him, Swamiji, now that you are our Guru, we want to ask you something, that we want to go to Australia. What should we, please give your blessings. He closed his eyes. He says, don't go. Story garwad. Don't go. Ab kya kare? The passport was there, the visa had just come, and after the visa had come, they had gone to the Guru Maharaj and said, we want to go to Australia. And the Guru Maharaj said, don't go. Guru की बात नहीं सुनी, फिर मुंह लंबा करके बैठ गए. तो Guruji, what will Guruji say? He closed his eyes. He says, okay, don't have a long face. Go for 4 years and come back. So they came happily. After 4 years, they are feeling bad. If we don't follow our Guru's dictate, then it will not be right. So they went back. And then Guru passed away. He had told them, don't go. Come back after 4 years. Now, after 4 years, when the Guru passed away, he took Samadhi. Now they had no one to ask. So they decided, okay, I think Guruji did not tell us not to go or anything. And they came back again. ऐसे ही ये ड्रामा चलता है. तो गुरु बनाना नहीं चाहिए. Ramchandra ji did not ask for sage Vasishtha. Sage Vasishtha was there to take care of Sri Ram. Ramchandra ji did not declare, I am making sage Vishwamitra as my guru. Vishwamitra came looking for Sri Ram and Lakshman. King Janaka did not ask for Ram. Sage Vishwamitra brought Sri Ram to King Janaka's kingdom, Mithila. This is also happening in our life. Every moment life is bringing. We have to be pure. We have to be integrated. Then correct things, the right experiences, the right people, the right environment will be created around us. You don't worry how. It will. And the right environment means that environment within which we grow from individual consciousness to infinite consciousness. If that growth is not taking place, then we are going into the Asuric Yoni, becoming more and more egoistic. Expansion, where we live sahaj, where we live simple, where we live not having friction with life, just flow with life, flow with nature. Then the friction is not in consciousness, the friction is within the Prakriti. The friction is you are imagining that you are the Prakriti, that I am the body, that I am the mind, that I am the thoughts, that I am born, etc., etc. This is the friction. Wherever there is duality, there is friction. Wherever there is duality, there will be doubt. Wherever there is duality, there will be ignorance. And somehow it is up to us, it is up to every parent to teach their child that. It is up to same people who I was staying with. The children are in their youth. The youth means they are 23 and 20 years old. And father is switched on, mother is switched on, the sons are switched on. 3 days of brainwashing and very succinct, deep questions as to how they can be a better person. Never we talked about any movie, never did we see any serial, never did we watch any TV. थोड़ा देखा, कौन सा देखा? मैट्रिक्स देखा, मैट्रिक्स न्यू वन. But 3 days of full on satsang. From morning we used to wake up, questions used to begin. Not questions about the world, about Adhyatma, about their own life, where they are, this is what we are doing, is this how we should, why am I, they are doing some research, someone is opening up a business, whatever, usme how we can do more, how can we, so all those nuances that only come when we are ready to listen, when we are ready to take guidance, when we are not feeling that we are 30 मार्क हाँ, उनको क्या पता है, हमें ज़्यादा पता है. Anyway, I just saw the time, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. We will conclude here and continue the story in our next class. Where are we now? हाँ, यहाँ पे थे ना. हाँ, Lord Vishnu Rishikesha has incarnated himself and has become famous in an illusory human form by the name of Ram for the benefit of and to show benevolence to his devotees, fulfill the job of the gods and to slay the demon Ravana. That Supreme Lord has manifested himself in 4 forms as the sons of Dasharatha and presently resides in the city of Ayodhya. Bolo Siyavar Ramachandra ki Jai, Lakshman Maharaj ki Jai. भरत महाराज की जय, शत्रुघ्न महाराज की जय, सीता मैया की जय, उर्मिला महारानी की जय, मांडवी महारानी की जय और श्रुत कीर्ति की जय. So, Ram is the main and he has got Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna, Triputi. Sita is the main Avyakta and she has the Trigunatmika, Shrutakirti, Mandavi and what do you call? And Shrutakirti. Urmila, Mandavi and Shrutakirti. And who is Ram and Sita? They are Purusha and Prakriti. More about it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.